Howdy, I'm Grey Pilgrim. What you see before you is a 1907 Austro-Hungarian Roth Steyr, the cavalry pistol of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. I'm not so good at this, but I will give it a old college try and let you see how I do it. This is the field strip for this particular gun. It is way overcomplicated for what it is. First, lock the bolt to the rear. Then push in this little pin right here and pull out the cross piece here. Then push down on this little retainer here and unscrew this carefully, because this retains the firing pin spring and the firing pin. Then I like to put this back on a few turns, drop the bolt, then you'll notice that when I pulled this all the way out, this central, this section here came loose. If you don't screw this back in a little bit, then this is the full spring pressure takes this whole thing out. This is the bolt, the barrel, the nose cap, oh, and the side plate. Here's your magazine in here, and underneath here is all the intricate trigger mechanism. I'm not going to take the magazine out because there's a problem in here, and it's really a bear to get it back in. But take a look at the machining on this bolt. This shoots an 8mm cartridge, about as equivalent power as a 32 ACP. And it's just overcomplicated. But they didn't know in 1907. They had no idea. So what you do, see this little hole here? This fits into it and holds it into the side plate. So you put it in place, put this in with the pin pointed backwards. Then put the barrel in. By the way, this thing here, as you can see, it causes the barrel to spin like that. It has some arced grooves in here that fit these two locking lugs here. There's also two locking lugs on here. These go into the bolt itself, and sometimes you get it on backwards, which I did. So put it this way and do this. There. And with this in place, lock that, cause this to come back to you. Put in the firing pin spring, and the back cap, and screw it on carefully. And turn it all the way down. Until it catches. Then that's the firing pin sticking out. That shows that it's cocked. This trigger is very much like a Glock trigger. That's it firing. But when you let go, listen to this. Just like a Glock. But Karl Krenke did this many, many years before Glock. This is just an absolute beautiful piece of Austro-Hungarian over-engineering. Well, actually, Czech over-engineering. Karl Krenke, the inventor of this thing, was a Czech. And what is now the Czech Republic was then part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. This was developed by Karl Krenke under the financial support of one, what was his name, Roth. And it was built at the Steyr works. It therefore is known as the Steyr, Roth Steyr, Roth for the financier and Steyr for the manufacturer. But among collectors, it's usually called the Roth Krenke because the name of Karl Krenke should be in there. It uses a rotating lock system, and as you can see, it has this huge bolt inside this totally milled frame. And it's just, the intricacies with which this was built are astounding. And if you're really much a weapons nerd, this gun is just superb. It shoots, as I said, an 8mm round that's not like a 7.62 or 7.65. It's actually a .320 bullet. And it can use a 300, but a 320 is preferable. Fiocchi did a run of these back in the 80s, and I have 2 boxes of them, of which I fired about 10. So, and that's the only ones I have. Well, I do have a few others that I had made myself by trimming down 32 H&R Magnum, adding an extraction groove, turning down the rim, and then cutting to length, and then loading with some lead bullets that I sized to 320 from a, I think it was a Nambu mold. And it used, I think, 2 grains of bullseye in it. It wasn't much, but it was about a mild 32 auto load. And it will cycle the slide, or the bolt. There is no slide, there's a bolt. Anyway, this is the manual of arms and working of the Roth Steyr. Fellow, when I put a short up, he said, well, you didn't show the end of it. There's the end. You know, you don't want to be on the receiving end of this. It has an extremely stout trigger on it, but that's to be understood because this was used by the cavalry. And they would have 3 of these, 1 on their belt and 2 on holster belts, holsters on the saddle and on the sides of the horse. They would grab the right-hand one and shoot off, I think it's 10 rounds, and then put it back, get the one on the other side of the horse, shoot off 10 rounds, put it back, then grab theirs and put on and shoot 10 rounds. All the time that they're holding a saber in their other hand. And I don't know what they're going to do with the lead for the horse, but this is an interesting pistol designed for a more elegant time and over-designed, in my opinion, in terms of engineering, but beautifully put together. Anyway, that's what I got to say. Happy trails.